reignite the Central Games. This is Pixelia here, and I'm sitting right now with King Mizo, the legend himself.
Yes.
What's up, King?
What's
What's
going
going
on,
on,
man?
brother?
This is King Mizo, and I'm chilling here with Pixelia, the legend himself, wearing the bloody t-shirt. Let's go.
Yeah, the bloody T-shirt, rocking it always.
Yes,
Shout
yes.
out to Smoke.
Yeah, man. Yo, thank you for
Um,
having me, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate you
no,
having me on the
thank you for
show, and
being here with us.
I love what you guys are building, man. It looks really cool, and I love it. I took a nice little break, but it's nice to come back to this vibe. It's beautiful.
Well, it's good to have you back. To be honest with you, we've missed you. It's good to have you back. It's good to see your face again, and it's good to see you smiling. So it's a good
No
thing.
doubt, man.
Glad to hear. I'm glad to have you here, bro. Now, King, as you know, this is a show for us to kind of explain people how Web3 works for art, for people doing art, right? Musicians, painters, photographers, whatever. Um, so basically, I wanted to hear from you. How did your crypto journey started? Like, where does it start? How did you came to acquire your first crypto,
Anything, yeah.
and how did you ended up here?
Okay, yeah. Well, that one, if I'll make it faster, if I can put it all in a short story, it would be the pandemic started. I've heard about crypto before NFTs. I've heard about like cryptocurrency, investing in it, blah blah blah. And then I kept hearing about it, but I was too busy doing so many other things. We were traveling, we're all over the place, and then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit in 2020. All of our travel plans were done. We had a radio show in Athens, Greece. We were on the FM dial in Atlantic FM, a show every Thursday actually, where we played hip hop, interviewed artists, and it would be translated in Greek. And that got stopped. Like so many things fell apart. And I was just looking at what's happening at the first week of the pandemic, and I've watched beyond my personal stuff. I was watching individuals, hardworking individuals, my neighbors' neighbors, who were all wondering how they're going to pay rent. And at that moment, the landlords were saying they cannot freeze any rent. And the only reason they can't freeze any rent is because the banks will not let them. The banks, pandemic or no pandemic, want their money, right?
Yeah,
Or it'll be deferred and you'll owe them more later. And a lot of people don't want to do that either because then you're just going to end up homeless. Most of us in society, it's in before crypto, the society with fiat currency is built where your time is valued a certain amount of fiat currency, which helps you barely get by. So you still need to work every day. And you're tired when you come home and you have no time to follow your dreams, right? So people live check by check. So at this moment, when I seen what was happening, it was the first week of the pandemic. I decided to say, "F the banks. I want to get away as far as away from them as possible, and I want to find some financial freedom." So I did it selfishly at this moment, and I said, "All right, what do I do?" I messaged my boy, and he's like, "Yo, I'm getting involved with buying virtual land." My boy Chris. I'm like, "Okay, let me get involved with some virtual land." Like, what's it about? He broke it down to me really quickly. I was like, I'm just gonna jump in. So I told my wife, I'm like, "Yo, if I buy virtual land right now and all fails, will we be able to cover rent for this 1 month?" She said, "Yes, go for it." I bought land, crypto voxels. I sold it for 3 times as much in 2 days. I did it again the next week, but I bought 2 pieces of land, sold those for 3 times as much. And I was like, wow. And then I'm in the land. I'm like, I got all this land now. I'm waiting a week till the sale happens. Let me see how hard it is to build on it. It was pretty easy. So we built a venue. It was so fun. Built a venue. We said, hey, let's build a guerrilla music house. Then I'm like, how do you stream in here? And then I realized you stream strictly like this: YouTube video, Twitch video, whatever video, and it plays on a screen inside the metaverse. What's the metaverse? I'm like, oh, it's just like Grand Theft Auto, except I have control of this building. It's my building. I could
right.
do
You're
whatever I
built.
want. So now I'm like, let me call some contacts. Back then, I was really close with a lot of Woo members. I got it Prodigal Son. I'm like, Woo. I got it Hellraiser, or now known as Heaven Raiser. Got it Master Ace. And we got all these people. We interviewed them and we told them we're going to play your interview in the metaverse. They were confused, but they were with it. So we started running. So now I'm making money off land. Now we're having shows. We can't have shows outside, but we're conducting shows inside the metaverse. And it was like, this is perfect. So then I have tourist eyes into space and I started seeing everything and it was beautiful. And I started jumping into the currency because I was using things like um, Uniswap at that time to buy, to make this currency into ETH, into Matic so I can buy land. I didn't know what I was doing, but just so I did it a few times, I was early. I started noticing that people that were early, just for using certain pieces of the ecosystem, you'd get rewarded airdrops. So all of a sudden, I got about $50,000 from Uniswap because I had several wallets. And I was like, what? That's the most money I've seen in my life at one time. Except when I got money from school that I owed, I had to pay them back. But that's a whole nother story. School paid me, I bought studio equipment, blah, 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 But honestly, it was amazing. And then when I got that, I'm like, yo, I can invest in this shit. Let me play around and look at other tokens. I started buying other tokens with that money. Boom, more money. That 50,000 became more. You know, I started investing it in shit. Things I couldn't. I started calling my mom, like, Mom, you need help with rent this month? I got you. My sister, you okay this month? I got you. And it was just beautiful. I never felt that way. So that's how I got involved. And since then, it was a journey. I was one of the first artists. It is an accolade, not to show off, but I was one of the first few people. First, I think 3 or 4 people that actually had an audio NFT. My audio NFT was minted April 20th, 2020. You know what I mean? And it was a song for my daughter, for the love of justice, which is full circle right now because I'm about to go meet my daughter. I don't make this public. I haven't seen my daughter in 16 years. We are reuniting. I get to meet her. Today I'm leaving to go meet her. And
Vamos!
honestly, all my voids are filled. Money, no money. Wealth, no wealth. I'm rich. Like I feel so rich and all my voids are filled. Where everything else I do from now on is just going to be natural, fun, and that's why it's all going to work. But I just rambled, bro, but that's been my journey from saying F the banks, I need financial freedom, to just seeing it and playing around.
And how
And
did you land it in the central end?
pardon?
How did you land it in the central end? Like, how did you
So
land
there
it?
was lots of racism happening within crypto voxels. There was a small community. There's a guy named devil.eth who was the moderator inside crypto voxels Discord. I went there and I asked a simple question about land. I was still pretty new, so I was asking questions that were novice. You know what I mean? And someone was really rude to me, and I was rude. But I remember I have a screenshot. Like I wasn't rude back. I was just more like, "Yo, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you acting like this in this space? Chill. I'll ignore you. Ask someone else." It became a big joke. I came back the next day. That guy started joking around with me, and I minted this, by the way. But people started calling me a black piece of shit. I didn't want to explain to them that I'm Indian because I felt there was no need at that point, because all my life the racism I faced was the N word. I'm Indian, but when I'm called the N word, I decide in myself that I don't need to tell them that I'm Indian. They're just being racist, and I'm going to defend it now. You know, so I tried my best to defend it. Um, and what happened at that point was I got it. The founder of CryptoVoxels, Ben Nolan. Ben Nolan. It might be some controversy, but you asked, right? It's the truth. Ben Nolan got back and said he's going to ban Devil.eth. Devil.eth wasn't banned. He still works for them till this day. And the small community there, when I saw this happen, I kind of stepped back quietly and I kept playing games, getting involved in metaverses, selling art. Then I saw racism from someone else in the space where they were being called the N word. Women were being disrespected. It was such a small community of NFT artists and collectors that you knew all of them. All right, this was 2020. We knew all of them. When I seen that on Twitter, I watched it and I finally said something. I should have learned then what didn't continue with the lesson recently when I blew up, when my mental health wasn't well and I blew up and reacted wrong as a human, which I'm accountable for. But back then, I got involved also. And when I saw the racism and the guy wasn't defending himself because maybe he felt like he couldn't, I jumped in and I was like, yo, what's going on? What's wrong with you guys? I started getting sent publicly on the Twitter feed swastika images. These are all minted, by the way. All of them are minted as NFTs, time stamped. With the artist names. Some of the artists are actually known. um, successful NFT artists from 2020. They have been sending me swastikas on my Twitter page saying, "We can't wait till this type of party comes back. Yo, you can't wait to celebrate real white supremacy." Da da da, like crazy shit. So I started messaging people like, "Yo, you guys gonna defend me?" Everyone was quietly saying, "Yo, these guys are haunted. Like, do not deal with them. Just don't respond. Everything will fall into place." I now understand what they mean. They weren't doing anything wrong, but I felt alone. So I screamed and I screamed and screamed about the racism I saw. I stepped away. But before stepping away, I bought land in Decentraland. I didn't know how to build on Decentraland, and I never asked anyone how to build on Decentraland, and I was too busy to learn at that time. So I didn't build anything. I just had one parcel. I left. I took some space, built. We did a bunch of stuff. I came back, and then I was like, "Yo, let me jump into Decentraland and get it built." I got it. I am Judas 1620 from back in the day. He was one of the people that supported me during this racism stuff. One of the very few, and he built this beautiful place for me with Corey Grizz from Parcel Party. Also helped me with the build, and when I came back and the build was made and we launched the build with the party in partnership with Parcel Party, the love I felt at the show and the new community I saw was amazing. It was a bunch of faces I never saw years ago. It was all new people, and everyone just seemed excited. Everyone was having fun, and everyone was nice. And that's how I got back involved with Decentraland. And since then, I was like, yo, I'm going to go hard. I want to use the utilize the Decentraland ecosystem for our foundation of metaverse experiences. You know, we're going to be in other metaverses as we're building, but that's how I got into Decentraland. And that's why, to me, it's one of our foundations that I believe in, because the welcome back from a group of strangers was amazing. It was beautiful. I met you, I met Melito, met Al backwards, met so many other people. I don't want to miss out any names. Cyclopa, so many good-hearted people, you know, and it was amazing. And that's why I got involved with Decentraland, basically because I wanted to find a safer metaverse. And then I found that every metaverse is just another land with human beings. And the only safe space you can create around other human beings is a safe space in yourself, a safe space in the way you react, a safe space in the way you look at other people's positions and words, and understand that nothing is personal. Understand that we are all human beings going through things, and we express ourselves in different ways, some through anger, frustration, some through bullying. Even someone bullying is someone who is going through something. And I think what I've learned in this world is, you know what, we're responsible for what we say, what we think, and how we take things. Meet people where they're at, and there's no such thing as a safe space unless you're safe in here and in here. I just answered
Where
questions of
everybody's only human, bro.
yeah,
Everybody's only human. Everybody carries their cross. Yeah,
definitely.
that's how it is. You don't need to take anything personal because most likely nothing is personal.
Nothing is personal. I've been learning that a lot, like on
Be
my break.
chill, bro. Like for real, it's always good to just be chill.
Exactly. It's hard
Yo,
being an artist though to be chill, right? It's
yeah,
like being an
I
artist.
wanna I wanna ask you something, like because I do see a lot of change happening in this beginning of your journey here, and I gotta ask, like how did you came from being unknown misery to King Mizo?
Yes.
It is,
So
you
I've
know,
been unknown misery for my music name has been unknown misery for a long time, and for a long time since I was 13, my first record ever, and I didn't realize, but a lot of people who cared about me would always tell me, like, yo, brother, you got to change your name for Misery. I was like, yo, chill. That's my superhero name. I speak about the misery of the world. I speak about the misery in me, and that's how I get it out. I'm healing. And, but at the same time, I got it years later in hindsight, right? So one day it hit me, and I was like, hold on. Everybody who loves me, when they greet me, they throw misery at me because they're like, hey, misery. Yo, that's misery, right? Words are magic, And this is when I realized all this. It hit me. Words are magic. That's why it's called spelling, because we spell with our words. And when someone else throws that energy at you, they're still spelling that vibration and throwing it at you. Every day, what we speak is magic. Everything we speak and think is magic. When we speak, it vibrates even louder. So it's like people that even care about me throwing misery at me. And I decided I needed change. I loved where my career, plus the ego. The ego part was I loved where my career was. I started seeing different things in my musical journey as unknown misery. And I wanted to end that journey on my terms. So I made an album called Life, Sins, and so these are the reasons I wanted to change my name. And then I changed it on an album called Life, Sins, and Death. The acronym for Life, Sins, and Death. That's the full meaning of it, but it's LSD because I got beats from archaeologists who made the beats for that album on Magic Mushrooms. He sent me the beats. I didn't hear any of the beats. But for 3 days, I locked myself in my studio for 3 days. I had the food there. I had everything I needed. I didn't want to leave. I popped LSD. I pressed play on the beats for the first time while the LSD hit me. And I wrote an album called Life, Sins, and Death. I wrote and recorded it in 3 days on LSD, where I killed Unknown Misery. And that was the end of Unknown Misery. Then I took a little break because it's life. I constantly forget. I learn, I forget, and I go to a new low. Then I go to a brand new high. Then I go to even a lower low. The lows get harder, but the highs get brighter, nicer, like wiser. It's beautiful. And that's life. You know what I mean? So there was one of my moments I had to leave again. And I became King Diamond Tut. That was my name. I released no album. I released maybe 6 or 7 music videos as King Diamond Tut. And then it was too weird. I was too involved in the industry. I didn't like being around rap because when you're around rap, it's not like, hey, let's cipher together. It's like, hey, you're good. I don't like you. Let me give you bad energy, or let me watch you on stage like this. No, I don't want that. I want love. So I didn't want to be around that anymore. I was getting older. So I'm like, I don't want to be King Diamond Side. It's too much ego. I'm like, I don't want to do this at all. Then I went to Europe before the pandemic. I didn't say anything about King Diamond Tut. I just stopped. I became the Ghost of Misery for one music video. I was the Ghost of Misery. And after that music video, where I recorded in Serbia and filmed the video in Rotterdam, we ended up back here. The pandemic happened. And I was just like, yo, out of all this darkness I've been rapping, the first week of the pandemic, the first month, everything's in my head, like all the different possibilities. I believe anything is a possibility. So I ended up going to listen to some of my old songs, and I'm like, wow, so much darkness. So I wanted to find the light in me and the gemstones in me and find the royalty in me. You know what I mean? And I called myself king. So it was my girl. My girl's like, well, you're a king. You know, we're all kings and queens. I was like, yo, I'm King Mizo. My friends call me Mizo, not Misery. So I became King Mizo. So Unknown Misery, King Diamond Tut naturally became King Mizo. And it became King Mizo because we are all kings. It's not a place of ego. It's a place of understanding that we all have these gemstones in us. Understand that even if we're dressed in peasant's clothing, a peasant's clothing is only peasant's clothing because the person who wears that clothing is referring to themselves as peasant. But you refer to yourself as king, you could wear garments like Gandhi and you will be Jesus. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at that. So that's where King Mizzle came. And that's been my journey to become King Mizzle. And it's a very spiritual place. I wanted to have fun with King Mizzle. The first album as King Mizzle was to manifest, and it came as an NFT last year. It was to manifest greatness. It was to
What was the
manifest.
name of that album?
Pardon? The name of it was King Mizzle,
King
self-titled.
Mizo?
Yeah. This new album I'm working on, which is done, I'm gonna mix it and master it now. I played it on the island, and I went on that Magic Island I went to where I played it on this
Koinor King is the one you're
Kohinoor
talking
King.
about?
This new album is called Kohinoor King. This album is not just manifesting greatness; it's also manifesting upliftment and love, healing. It's
What kind
manifesting
of
all.
what kind of sounds can we expect on?
You
I'm
could
going working.
so you could expect sound wise house music, reggae music, hip hop music, trap music, soul music, all mixed in one is what you could expect. And when
A
it
mega
comes
mix.
a full mix, 90s rap, future rap, all of it. And
Cool.
when you feel the feeling of the album, I speak about addiction, but overcoming it. I speak about depression, but being happy. I speak, so the songs aren't about depression. The songs are about being happy. Every song starts somewhere, but it manifests. My songs about depression manifest happiness. My songs about poverty manifest wealth. My songs about mental health manifest a strong mind. Things like this. And that's what the song's about. Songs about addiction manifest um, overcoming addiction and things like that. You know what I mean? So to me, this album is a full album and it's a full art piece and it's something that's really close to my heart. We're going to release it on a record on a 12-inch vinyl. It's going to have fold out art to it, a lot of cool shit, and I'm mad excited about it, to be honest, bro. Like, I haven't been this excited about music for a long time. So
The
while I've been
video,
away, I've been
there's a
working.
video clip out, right? There was a
Pardon?
video clip. I saw a video clip for one of
Yeah.
your songs, for Going or King, actually, the name of
Yes.
the song. And I saw like a teaser of the video clip, or the video clip itself. I don't remember very well. It was like a month or so ago, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was called I Gave You Power. It was paying homage to
I,
Nas's song I Gave You Power.
I gave you power.
Yeah, and it's about me. I'm rapping in the perspective of I am technology, but I am neutral. But what you do as the holder that holds me as technology, you make it good or evil. I am neutral. You know what I mean? I'm here to empower and amplify good or evil, but it's up to the beholder. And that's what the song's
Actually,
about. And it's basically a way to explain to people that, yo, don't be afraid of this crypto stuff. Come join us. You know what I mean? That's really what it's about.
basically, crypto is no different than fiat in that aspect. Like I've always been the person to believe that if you're a douchebag and you get money, you will become a bigger douchebag.
Right.
Like this type of benefit, wealth wise, they only amplify who you are. So if
Mm,
you were a nice person before and you got wealthy, like wealthy enough for you to be able to express yourself in the way you are,
mm.
you will become kinder, you know,
I
more
agree.
generous. So it's
I agree. I
I
haven't
think
been.
that like I told you before, people are just people, bro. You know, you're in the end you're dealing with people, and you know people are who they are. Some
Yeah,
of them are good, some of them are not.
yeah, and some of
That's just
and
how
so,
it is.
and most of us are.
We're all light and shadow. Like
There you go.
we all bright, but we're all bright. We're all dark.
That's
So
it. It's a lifelong journey. Let's learn. Let's not judge each other. Let's do our best. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. It's like I believe in that amplifying thing. It's like because, to be honest, I've always done everything I've done in my life was attached to some type of charity work or giving. I wouldn't even call it charity. It's just life. You know what I mean? I come from a bloodline of that. Like, yo, we get but we give. You know what I mean? And like you have to give. It's like I'm not going to eat a slice of pizza and someone standing beside me is not having
yeah,
anything.
that's just how I feel. Like for some reason, this is something that always happens to me. Every time I go to a place or a restaurant or something with friends, and we have leftovers, we always take them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always the opportunity to give them someone else. Someone that you can clearly see that has not eaten. And it's funny to see how people react in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
That like I'm always surprised to see how many people are willing to just give what they have
Yeah.
to someone in need. But there's always this person. who is like, haha, this is my burger,
I
bitch.
know. There's always this person like, yo, I'm not going to be able to eat this later. It'll probably go bad, but I'm still taking it,
I'm
putting it in
still
my
taking it,
brain.
and he's not having it. Period. And it's just how it is, dude. It's um, the nature of human beings. That's it.
What did you just say about the give? Because the giving, you know what's funny, man? You know, and what's cool about like my wife, man, she's exactly the same. That's one of the many reasons we click. It's like, yo, if there's a day when I don't know what I'm gonna eat, it's one of those days. Like I don't know what I'm gonna eat tomorrow. Shit, I don't know if I'll have money to eat tomorrow, but I know it'll come through somehow because I still have a place to sleep. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I still have water coming out of the tap. You know, and something's gonna work out. But I only have $5 on me right now. Yo, I'm giving that $5 away. My last amount of money, when I have hardly anything, that's when I'm going to give everything away. I don't know why. I just feel at that time that I'm going to give it to someone that actually physically has less than me. In their heart, in their spirit, they may have way more than me. But physically, in the physical world, it looks like they have less opportunities than me at the moment. And I'm like, yo, man, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I only have $5, but I'm going to give it to someone with no home right now. You know, and for some reason, I feel like it balances out. And I don't do it to get a blessing at all. I do it because it feels right. But because at that moment, I know how bad and panicky I feel. And then I walk by someone who obviously has it worse than me. And I'm like, I feel bad and panicky. I have $5 in my pocket.
Exactly.
So take that.
But
You know what I mean?
this is life reminding you that
Yeah.
it can always be worse.
Yeah, man.
No, it can
Yeah.
always get worse, and there's a lot of people in worse situations, just just chilling for real, like just chilling.
Happy.
Yeah, it's a mindset, bro.
It is.
Now, Mizo, let me ask you something. What about your DG experience? Like, how did your let's say your art connected with DG? Because I can understand why, but I want people to know why. You know,
Yeah.
we all know how amazing DG is, but I want to get it from your perspective. What was your experience on this?
Yo, Decentral Games, just like many other companies, or not company, I don't know, whatever.
Company.
Decentral
It's a
Games,
company, bro. It's
yeah, are like just like many other companies within this Web3 space are community based. You know what I mean? And so that's one thing. So when it comes to that, I always like the sound of community, but often it lacks type of support systems. You know, and maybe because a lot of us can't support ourselves, so it's hard to support someone else. But one thing about DG is I'm gonna start backwards. Recently, when I had like a really bad moment, man, and I felt I was in a really dark place, just as human beings, just as human, I'm not talking about opportunity, this, that, nothing. I'm talking just as human beings. I felt so much support from that community. I felt that was just it was like guerrilla music to me. Like to me, it was just so much support. That's all I can say. I felt support and I felt genuine support. I felt zero judgment. I felt 100% understanding. And I felt like strangers were meeting me where I'm at better than I can at that moment. And the happiness brought tears to my eyes at that time of how grateful I was of meeting great people like this that I've never met in real life. That's the end. That's the most recent, backwards. But how I met them was simple. Whenever I'm in a space, I like to build. I have a Toronto hustle mentality. You know what I mean? I've sold CDs for about 10 years of my life, didn't have a job because I hustle. You know, I'm from Toronto. Like, that's how it is. We're like a small New York street hustle shit, but legal. And then I end up going to I'm in this space. I'm building. I want to build with this person, that person. Yo, let's do this. Let's collab here. Let's collab there. Sometimes collaborating is not as smooth. It just doesn't work. It's nothing personal. It just doesn't work. Um, I got a DG about an idea. I said, yo, I want to run an event with you guys. I don't know what we want to call it, but I want to run a rap event with you guys. And this is what we do. And I'd love to build a partnership. And there's two sides to this. One side was me being a businessman and actually understanding the power of DG at the moment, which was large, and the power of them in the space, which is large. Also, seeing a projection of where DG is headed, which is large. Um, and I said this would be a great partnership to help amplify what we're doing with Rap Token and Gorilla Music. It was a great business move. The second part was I wanted to open up to a different demographic. I didn't want to get at just the music. I wanted to get at, I was like, yo, there's people that here that are here to play poker. They're not necessarily here for the music. Let's build a bridge between these communities because that's another thing I'm always good at, building bridges in real life. So I got at them. I got a response so fast. It was amazing. Like a human response. We got on a meeting probably in a week. And during that, like, what was supposed to be a half an hour meeting, it lasted over an hour. It was me, Murph, Jestik, and Aaron. We were on a call for over an hour. And this meeting just became about like what we feel in our hearts about the space, how much we love helping. The first thing when I told them about Color the Blockchain and our charity, which you could talk about later, maybe if there's time, if not next time, but um, what's cool about it is Aaron and them, they were right away automatically like, Color the Blockchain. What does it do for the people? We love that. Beyond guerrilla music, beyond Rap Token, Color the Blockchain's concept of helping people have equal access into Web3 was the main reason that they were attracted to what I was saying we wanted to do. And to me, those are the type of people I want to be around. I love those intentions. So while we sat on a 1.5 hour call, all of us collectively thought of the name Metaverses. And that's how Metaverses was born. Ever since then, I've been DJing. We got the Metaverses Espanol. There's going to be more, which you guys killed, by the way. Not even killed, brought to life. You know what I mean? Which I'm learning from and taking a lot of pages out of its book during this next season for the international, man. So, but that's the story with DG. I love DG. Like, they don't pay me to say I love them. They're not like I'm working with them because I like working with them, and they like working with me. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. As a DJ, they do support me. 100%. As a DJ, when I spin on Thursdays, they support me, and I love that. And when it comes to metaverses, we do this from our heart, and we use our time and our energy to do it. So I love DG. I always will, and we're gonna keep building, man. Big up.
We all love DG.
Yes.
We all love DG, Mizo.
Yeah.
Now, bro, let me ask you one last thing before we wrap it up. Obviously, there will be a second part to this interview because I do feel we need to focus on the Rap Token project, the
Yeah. Sure.
Power the Blockchain initiative. Many things that are slowly being cooked in the background
Yeah.
from a long time ago, I would say,
Yeah.
and that I'm proud to be part of as well. And we should have a second conversation about it. But just to wrap this one up and to call it a wrap for the day, what can we expect from Mizo in the near future besides the Coin or King album? You already told us of Metaverses International. I know there's a second season for the Metaverses Espanol going on.
Yeah.
Also, like seafood, there's Metaverses French, I think.
Coming. Yeah.
What else? Like,
So
you know,
Mizo. Yeah. So we have our so slowly while I've been doing my thing behind the scenes. It's like we've been uh the Rap Heads NFT collection is ready to go. Basically, it's like almost like a button you press away, and we're just waiting for the right time for that. Until then, the art. We're going to be releasing several videos for Kohinoor King. After that, we have a documentary that we're going to conclude, which we started a few years ago on hip hop and healing in India, and where we interviewed when I toured India with some music concerts. I also interviewed a bunch of people on hip hop and healing and how they're using hip hop culture to heal their communities, how they're using it to empower women, things like this. And we're building a documentary is underway right now. The trailer is out. If you check my Instagram, we're gonna have all these out as NFTs very soon. Believe me, I'm slowly building everything. I'm gonna bring it. Ha, da, 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 da. But it's the documentary is the next thing. And other than the documentary, you could expect some comedy. Be it just expect some comedy. There's gonna be some comedy with some different sketch characters that I have, and I'm gonna be focusing on that next before my next album. But that's what I'm gonna be focusing on. Just art, man. Look out for art. I'm a scattered person. I make art. Like I'll start a song and then I'll be like, yo, let me draw this. And then I'll be like, yo, let me carve this. And then I'll come in the same day. Right. So there's just look out for the art. And there's gonna be a lot of art coming out when it comes to Web3. Guerrilla Music is going. We have a conference that's guaranteed happening in October 2022 at the Pearson International Convention Center, which is located by Brampton near the airport, by Brampton in Ontario, near Toronto, so near the Toronto airport. Uh, that's in partnership with some people from the University of Waterloo and Guerrilla Music, and we're gonna be speaking about or highlighting social impact in Web3 during that conference, and that's going to be his first one, and that's going to be happening annually as the vision. Things change, as I learned recently that plans. What do they say? God, you make plans and God laughs, or whatever it is. It actually is real, and
I don't like. There's been so long since I planned for things. I
yeah,
have guidelines.
guidelines. Yeah,
I have guidelines. I have uh, set mentality and some weight.
yeah.
The
You
rest is just good vibes, bro. Like you just gotta flow with
go
the.
with it.
You're like a river. You know, you can either flow
Yeah,
or you
yeah,
can get overboard.
exactly. When something falls out
Uh,
of your hand, it empties, so something can fill its space. But yo, basically, if you want to hear continuously what's going down, obviously come through to the metaverses. But every Thursday, I also DJ for
Party
parties and
foolish.
bullshit, right? Every
Party and
Thursday,
foolish
you
with
know
the
what I mean?
King Mizo
Every
himself, of
Thursday,
course.
DG. And there
Yeah.
you'll always hear updates. I'll always update everybody about new things that are happening in real time. So you won't miss a thing. So show up there whenever you can. And that's the best way to get info. Guerrillamusic.ca, spelt like Che, two L's, Guelli,
I'll I'll
Guerri.
make sure everybody gets all the tags that's necessary for Discord and for Twitter, you know, so that everybody can just join in and just tweet with you if they need.
But yeah, brother,
Yo,
thank you.
for any first time users or first time players, any words for them?
First time players, yo,
Go
if you're
all
playing,
in, don't go all in.
no, if you're playing
Some good advice.
if you're playing or delegating, just exactly. Don't go all in. Have fun. Do the challenges. Basically, have a good time.
Don't play seven twos. Seven twos. It's a no.
No, no. You know what I mean? And yo, another thing. Pretend it's real life. Pretend you're at a table beside other humans whose eyes you can see, whose auras you can feel because they're so close to you, and treat the table how you would treat it in a real life casino.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Follow the code of ethics.
with some respect.
Yeah, yeah. You know
Show
what I mean?
respect.
Put some respect on a DG name.
You will show respect while burning this ice. Yo, Mizo, it's been a pleasure, bro.
Yo,
As
thank you.
always, mad love and respect for you, brother.
Yo, thank you, brother.
And like I told you, there will be a round two for this. Oh, look who came in. Adelante. Look who came in. We're gonna say hi to the king and
Oh, what's going on, buddy?
the big boy. Yo, bro, take care. It's
All
been
right,
a
one love.
pleasure.
Peace, brother. Peace.
Bye bye.